Alright, hey, what's up guys? Scott here again with a very exciting video for you all today. So now that the second quarter of 2022 has finally come to an end as of June 30th, in this video here, we'll be taking a deep dive into my options trading performance over this past quarter. Now originally I was intending to make a very large performance video at the end of the year to kind of go over my whole year's performance, but I decided instead at this point going forward, I'm going to make a performance review video just like this every single quarter. And so in particular for this video, we're going to obviously focus mostly on my Q2 performance, but since I did not make a performance video for my Q1 results, in this video we're also going to briefly go over those numbers as well, so that way you guys can see just generally where I am right now in 2022. And as you're going to see here, my results in quarter one were pretty much abysmal for reasons I'll discuss later in this video, but I was able to learn a lot in those first 3 months and drastically turn things around in this past quarter, which was my best quarter ever. So needless to say, this bear market is definitely not keeping me down, which is a very encouraging thing. So again, in this video, we're first going to go over just the high level results from Q2. Then after that, we'll dive in a bit deeper and I'll show you guys my exact trade tracking spreadsheets through the entire year so far, all 6 months. And then at the end of the video, I'll discuss the major learning lessons I experienced, mostly from Q1, and how I was able to turn things around to have my best quarter ever. Now, as always though, before we dive in here, in case any of you would like to join a very exclusive online community where you guys can really learn how to successfully trade options, then you can now join my options trading Discord. And once you join, you'll gain access to the following benefits. Number one here, you'll see detailed real-time trading updates from my personal live trading account. You'll get daily trade suggestions and ideas, alerts regarding important market news, events, and price levels. You will also get fast and personalized responses to any and all questions. And of course also, you'll be able to participate in very engaging discussion with other like-minded traders and investors, myself included. So if that sounds good to you guys, then be sure to sign up today using the link that you'll find in the description of this video. And secondly here, for any of you who are brand new to the channel, again, my name is Scott, and you can also find me on Skillshare as well, where you can take my very detailed classes on options trading or stock market investing. And you'll also find some links to a few of my introductory courses in the description of this video as well. So be sure to check them out, and when you sign up for Skillshare using any of those links, you'll get a full 1 month free trial. Alright guys, so first off here, I just want to give you all a bit of context as to where the market is right now in 2022. Right, so obviously with this current bear market showing no signs of slowing down anytime soon, pretty much any long position on most asset classes at this point, whether that's equities especially, or bonds, cryptocurrency, etc. Again, pretty much any long position on these asset classes is going to be down by a huge amount at this point. And unfortunately, that's definitely how most people invest or speculate in the market. They simply buy into things, invest into things for the long term, and hope the price steadily increases with time. And so ultimately, this is why I created my own custom option selling approach, so that way I have the potential to still make money completely independent of what the broader market is doing. So again, just for some context here, let's take a look briefly at where the major market indexes are right now at the halfway point of 2022. So based on the futures markets of these indexes here, as of June 30th, the S&P 500 is down by 21.1%, the NASDAQ is down by 30.3%, the Dow Jones down by 16.6%, Russell 2000 down by 25.5%, and finally, just for good measure, Bitcoin is down by 60.9%. Ouch. So again here, this is the exact kind of market environment which highlights my motivation to create a totally separate strategy with options that again allows me to have the potential to still make money regardless of what the market is doing, right? I don't want to have to rely on stocks grinding higher every single year just to make money. And so now diving into the high level results of my performance over this past quarter. So again, Q2 encompasses the months of April, May, and June. So first off here, we'll take a look at a month by month basis. So in April of this year, as of April 1st, my account balance was $41,031.44. And by the end of that month, I made a profit of $1,032.70, which on a percentage basis is a 2.52% return. So then in May, if you add my profits from April, my starting account balance was $42,064.14. And this here was actually my best month ever, so by the end of it, I made a profit of $3,286.40, which translates to a 7.81% return. And then finally in June, same thing, if you add my profits to my account from May, My starting account balance was $45,350.44. And for the month of June, I made a profit of $2,506.80, which is a 5.53% return. So those are my results on a month-by-month basis, but now we'll take a look at the entire quarter as a whole. So my total P&L for Q2 2022 is a profit of $6,825.90, which overall is a 16.64% return. Not too bad. And then finally here, we'll take a look at my year-to-date stats as well. So basically my results for the entire first 6 months of the year so far. And so this here is where things get a little bit less glamorous, but my overall P&L for the year so far is still a profit of $1,793.39, which translates to a 3.9% return. So again, obviously, as you can tell right here, once you factor in my Q1 results, that definitely brought down my performance quite a bit, but at least at this point, I've definitely recovered my losses from that first quarter. So ultimately, being at the halfway point of 2022 and being up by only about 4% or so obviously is not amazing. I would definitely want to be up by more than that at this point. But again, keeping the broader context in mind, right, with the S&Ps and the NASDAQ being down by 20 and 30% respectively, obviously I can't be too discouraged. But now that I've successfully made back all my losses from the first quarter of this year, I'm definitely very encouraged and excited about the next 6 months until the end of the year, basically. So I basically have that amount of time, that 6 months, to hopefully generate a sizable return in my portfolio come December. And so now at this point, we're going to jump over to my computer here and we're going to dive into my trade tracking spreadsheets for the first 6 months of this year, both Q1 and Q2. So that way you guys can see my trades and my stats in much greater detail. All right, guys, so like I said, at this point, we're going to go over my trade tracking spreadsheets for pretty much the entire first half of the year, just very briefly here. So again, these spreadsheets I use on a month-to-month basis to, of course, track my trades and also keep track of important statistics about my entire portfolio. So for example, with this spreadsheet here, if I come over a little bit, as you'll see, this is my January 2022 trade tracking spreadsheet. And in the top section here, this is where I track all of my trades. Now, as you're going to see through all these different spreadsheets, there's pretty much a recurring theme in the kinds of positions I use. And that is, I pretty much just stick to 3 main strategies. And that is, I sell naked call options, I sell naked put options, and I also sell strangles, which is a combination of selling both naked calls and naked puts at the same time. I know I do also have other categories here for put credit spreads or iron butterflies, etc., but I pretty much never use those. So again, naked calls, naked puts, and strangles are the 3 main strategies I use pretty much exclusively. And so as you can see here, the trades that are still just in black text here, these trades were still ongoing at the end of January. And these trades here did not actually come to an end until sometime in February. But the trades in either red or green, these trades came off for either a profit or loss in the month of January. And of course, the ones in green here were profits, and the trades in red, these were losses. Now also, just to give you a bit more context on my entire approach with selling options in the market. So again, these are the 3 main strategies I use, but also if any of these contracts do go in the money, or if the stock basically breaches my strikes, at those points, I have automatic orders in place that will either buy or short the stock. Right, so for example, let's say I sell some out of the money naked call option, which is meant to be a bearish trade, but if I'm wrong on that trade and the stock continues moving higher, if at some point it breaches my call strike, goes above my call strike, at that point, again, I will purchase 100 shares of the stock. And therefore, that basically converts my initially naked call option into a cover call option. And at that point, it does not matter how much higher the stock goes after that point. And I could still, by the expiration date or a bit sooner, still walk away with a profit. And then same thing for selling naked put options, right? That's a bullish trade, but if I'm wrong and the stock continues to fall lower, once it gets below my put strike at around that point, I have orders in place that will short 100 shares of the stock and cover the put option contract. So ultimately with my approach, I still do make directional trades, like I said, either with selling naked calls or puts, but with my approach as well, I still do have the potential to make money if the stock moves in literally any direction. And of course, I do want to emphasize the word potential to make money, right? Obviously, it's not a guarantee, as you'll see in the first 3 months of this year. So that's a bit of context around my approach and what I've been doing here since the beginning of this year. Now we'll come down here and take a look at my actual portfolio statistics for the month of January. And so as you can see for that particular month, right, I made 8 total trades, 5 of which were winners and 3 of which were losers, which therefore equates to a win rate of 62.5%, not very good. But still overall, I did manage to squeeze out a very, very small profit of $55 basically. And then also, as you can see for January, my starting account balance was $46,000, a bit more than that. And therefore, at the end of the month, with making that $55 in profit, that brought my total account value to $46,120. And then also right here, as you're going to see in the rest of the spreadsheets, this is where I track the very important statistics about my entire portfolio across, obviously, the entire year. So of course, because this spreadsheet is January, the first month of the year, then that means all these stats are pretty much the same as what you see over here. And the few stats that are different are still pretty much meaningless at this point. So that's January. Now what about February? And so here we go. This is my February 2022 trade tracking spreadsheet. And obviously, as you can see with this one, there's a lot of trades here that are in red. So obviously a lot of losing trades. And they're pretty much across the entire board. Naked call options, naked put options, and strangles. I was losing money on every kind of strategy that I was using. And towards the end of the video, I'll be discussing exactly why this month as well as March in particular were so bad and I lost so much money on all these trades here. So then if we come down below and take a look at my portfolio statistics for that month of February, as you can see here, I made 9 total trades for that month, only won or made money on 3 of them and lost money on 6. So that's a win rate of 33%, which is terrible. And I do believe this was my worst month. So as you can see here, I lost over $4,000. Really bad. And then now coming over here and taking a look at my stats for the year so far, basically January and February together, 17 total trades, 8 wins, 9 losses, win rate of 47%. And by the end of February, my account was down by just under $4,000, right? Because again, I still made a very small profit in January. And then lastly here for Q1, basically, we'll take a look at March, which also was a really bad month. So here we go. This is my March sheet. And if I scroll over here and zoom in a bit, and as you can see here, I definitely had a lot more winning trades than losing trades, mostly with short naked call options, right? But in particular for my naked call in CrowdStrike, as well as my naked put in Baidu, these 2 trades were huge losses. And they were both totally my fault as well. And so unfortunately, coming down to my portfolio stats again for this month, for the month of March, I made 22 trades, 17 of them were profits, only 5 were losers, so that's a win rate of almost 80%, much better. But again, like I said, with CrowdStrike and Baidu, those were both huge losses, so my total P&L for the month was still a loss of just over $1,000. Obviously not good by any means, but still much better than the prior month in February, right? Where I lost over $4,000. And that month in particular was my worst month, mostly because that was the month where this 2022 bear market really got going. And so ultimately by this point in 2022, right, my total P&L for the year was minus $5,000, which of course brought my account balance down from a starting point of $46,000 on January 1st, now down to only $41,000. And then also with these 3 stats down here, these ones are very important. At this point, my average profit per winning trade was positive $230. My average loss per losing trade was minus $770. And with an overall win rate of only 64% at this point in March, at the end of March, this equates to an expected P&L per trade of minus $129.04. So basically at this point, unless I made some major improvements with my approach, then my average expected outcome per trade going forward was going to be a loss of $130 almost. And this number right here, this statistic, is the most important one for traders. The main objective here is to get your expected P&L per trade to be not only a positive number, but also as large as possible. And so now at this point, once I go through my second quarter spreadsheets very quickly here, you're going to see this number, my expected P&L, start to change and become more and more positive again, right? Because essentially after the first quarter had ended, I had mostly figured out the issues with my approach and definitely improved a lot, as you saw earlier in the second quarter of this year. So now here is my April trade tracking spreadsheet. And as you can see for this month, I definitely made fewer trades than in March, but all the trades that at least I exited in this month were all profits. So no losing trades at all in this month, which was great. Definitely good for my confidence here. And so then coming down below and looking at my portfolio stats, obviously 6 total trades. They were all wins, no losses. And total P&L at the end of this month of April was positive $1,032.70. And so that means overall for the year so far, my win rate definitely went up by a little bit, almost 70%. And I was definitely beginning to cut down on my losses for the year so far. Although at this point at the end of April, I was still down by just under $4,000. But also, like I said, my expected P&L per trade did get a little bit better as well. And now at this point, it's only negative $88. So certainly some nice improvement there. And next up here, this is my May trade tracking spreadsheet. And definitely, as you can see here, I was very busy in this month, made a lot of trades, mostly earnings trades. And so that's ultimately why this month here was my best month, I think, ever, because all the earnings trades I made, with the exception of one, I think, they all made profits. And so definitely, as you can see here, most of the trades I made were short strangles, again, because anytime I trade earnings, they are always strangle trades. And again, I believe NET here, or Cloudflare, was my only losing earnings trade. So overall for the month, I made a total profit of just under $3,300. I made a total of 27 trades, 24 of them were winning trades, only 3 were losers. So that comes out to a win rate of just under 90%, much, much better. And then as of the end of May, my year-to-date stats got a little bit better as well. So now my overall win rate for the entire year went up to 76%. And also my expected P&L per trade was now just slightly under zero, only minus $9.91. So basically, I just needed one more good month here, and I could turn the statistic all the way around to being positive again. And so now finally, this is my June trade tracking spreadsheet. And also this was a very, very good month where I did not have a single losing trade either. So across the board, my naked calls, naked puts, and strangles all worked out very well. And then finally coming down here to look at my portfolio stats, as I said, no losing trades, so 14 trades total, 14 wins, and overall made a profit of $2,500. So therefore my stats for the entire year at this point, I currently have an overall win rate of just over 80%, which is pretty much at minimum where I want it to be. And so far at the halfway point of 2022, I've made an overall profit, thank God, of around $1,800. And also, of course, finally, my expected P&L per trade is a positive amount of $20.85. So ultimately here at this point in 2022, I'm definitely feeling a lot better about my trading. I've made back all of my losses from Q1. And now at this point, I can focus on the remaining 6 months of this year and hopefully by the end of it, come out with a pretty decent profit. And so that concludes my deep dive here into my performance and stats for each month of 2022 so far. And now lastly in this video, we'll discuss what exactly went wrong in the first quarter of this year, and then everything I learned and improved upon to do a lot better in Q2. Alright guys, so lastly in this video, what exactly went wrong in Q1 of this year, right? Why were the first 3 months so abysmal in performance? Well, number one here, as of January 1st, I had just switched back to real money for my particular custom approach, my custom strategy, after an extensive testing period for most of last year. Right, so again, with my approach of selling naked options and then either buying or shorting the stock to cover the contracts that go in the money, and this really is the essence of my strategy, which allows me to still make money in pretty much any kind of market environment. This was something I was really testing for the most part all of last year. So really, this still is a very new strategy for me, and even today, I'm still working out some of the kinks and trying to improve things. So again, switching back to real money as of January, obviously, as I expected, there was going to be some differences between paper money trading last year compared to real money trading starting this year. And mostly those differences and the issues I encountered revolved around my automatic stock buying and shorting orders. So basically what I experienced is the way I was initially pricing and configuring those orders, they were getting triggered way too frequently. So for example, if I sell a naked call option and if the stock rises above my strike, again, I have orders in place that will buy the stock, but also if the stock then falls down below my strike, I have orders in place also that will sell the shares and get rid of them. And every time that happens, I do encounter a very small loss. But if these orders get triggered very frequently, then these small losses begin to add up significantly. So there was that issue along with a few others in regards to those automatic stock hedging orders in terms of things like using standard pricing or mark pricing, things like that. Don't want to get into all the details here. So bottom line is I did have a lot of issues with those automatic stock hedging orders, which caused me to lose a lot of money. And then secondly here, why the first quarter of this year was so bad for me is because the market changed so dramatically and so quickly compared to last year. right? So last year, for example, it was a very typical and calm bull market where stocks were pretty much just grinding higher almost every single day, thanks to the Fed, of course. But then this year, things completely flipped and we entered into a highly volatile, very chaotic bear market pretty much overnight. And I personally have never traded in a real bear market in my entire life, right? Because the last real bear market we saw was all the way back in 2008. And back then I was still just a small kid. I was not trading back in that time. I had no money. So naturally, of course, whenever you experience something for the first time, the chance that you're going to navigate through that like a pro is probably pretty darn slim. And so now though, why was the second quarter of this year so much better for me? What exactly did I learn and improve upon to drastically turn things around? Well, number one here, obviously I got my automatic stock hedging orders to work a lot better, right? So again, in the first 3 months of the year, I was going through a lot of just trial and error, trying to fix and improve things, lose money in the process, of course. But at the end of it all, I finally got these orders to work a lot better. So that was the first thing. And then the second thing was dramatically increased patience and selectivity with my trades. So basically prior to this year, I was definitely a lot less selective with my trades. Pretty much if I saw a stock with high implied volatility and liquid options, I was pretty much game to start selling those options and make a trade. And definitely during a calm bull market like we saw last year, you definitely can get away with being a lot more lazy and less patient and selective with your trades. But once the market took a major turn as of January this year and things got a lot more chaotic and crazy, and I was definitely also way too overexposed to the downside with bullish trades, and of course also with badly configured stock hedging orders as well, I got completely smacked around. And so that's why I made the decision at the end of Q1 basically to really just back off and be a lot more patient and selective with my trades and really wait for the best possible opportunities, which, getting into my next point here, depends a lot on basic usage of technical analysis. So essentially in the second quarter of this year, I paid a lot more attention to some basic technical analysis on both the major market indexes and the individual stocks I was trading. And when I say basic, I mean I pretty much just use support and resistance, and that's pretty much it. And to my surprise, my performance improved a lot and very quickly because when I use technical analysis, just support and resistance, this forces me to be a lot more patient and selective, right? So now I pretty much only make bullish trades when I see stocks or the major market indexes reach major support levels. I make only bearish trades at resistance and neutral trades when we're basically right in between. And then lastly here, the last major thing I improved upon in Q2 of this year is now I pretty much always have trades on where at least one of them could make money on any given day in the market. So basically what this means is I pretty much always have an even mix or a mostly even mix of bullish, bearish, and neutral trades on simultaneously. And in that way, for example, if stocks go higher today, then my bullish trades will do well. But if stocks go lower, my bearish trades will do well. And if stocks just go sideways, then perhaps all my trades, but especially my neutral ones, will do well. And then of course, like I explained with my strategy, if I have trades on which goes super badly, then I have my now functioning stock hedging orders, which still give me the opportunity or the potential to make a profit even when I'm super dead wrong on the trade. And so there you have it, guys. That is my options trading performance review for the second quarter of 2022. And like I said, I'm definitely now feeling a lot more encouraged and more excited about the rest of this year. So stay tuned for my Q3 and Q4 updates coming later in the year. And hopefully things keep going as well as they have been in Q2. And so that's going to do it here for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And please let me know your thoughts or if you have questions in the comment section below. And don't forget to check out and sign up for my options trading Discord as well as my Skillshare courses. Links also in the description of this video. And finally here, if you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up, drop a comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I drop new videos every single week and you don't want to miss out. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.